Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case. Here are the notes on section 1.6. Alright, and I will go ahead and jump right in here. So let's get going. First note card today is perpendicular bisector. Alright, and I believe we've had each one of these cards individually. So let's bring it together and we'll start with an example. Okay, straight edge out here. I'm going to get an even numbered segment, even numbered length segment. So I'll go 8 to 2 in centimeters, and that puts me right there, would be the middle. Okay, so go ahead and make it a segment AB. The perpendicular refers to 90 degrees, so we're going to go ahead and get a 90 degree angle going here, and we'll do constructions later where we actually construct it without or I should say with a compass. Okay, traditional proper formal construction. So here is our perpendicular, and it's also a bisector because it cuts this segment AB in half. So we could say that line CD is the perpendicular bisector. Okay. That is the signal for perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay. So for it to be a perpendicular bisector, it needs to cut the segment in half. Okay, that's the bisector part. And then it cuts it in half CLF with a 90 degree angle, and that is the perpendicular part. Alright, so that is perpendicular bisector. Alright, so now we will go on to some constructions. So, alright, let me back up. I made a mistake up here which I will fully own and I want to correct. So this is just the signal for perpendicular. So this just says CD is perpendicular of AB, which is a segment. So we need CD is perpendicular, we need to add bisector. So perpendicular just plays to the 90 degree part, so we need to add the bisector part. So two parts there. My bad. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's pick up with some construction. So first construction we are going to do is we're just going to construct a perpendicular bisector of a segment. So perpendicular bisector of a segment construction Okay, so to accomplish this, we're going to start with the segment. And let's tilt it just to make it different, and just any length. I don't want it too big. I kind of want to fit it on the paper. So something like that. Okay. And everybody's should be different. So let's go ahead and make our segment AB. Okay. And then we are going to get out our compass. I'm going to start on 1 point and open it more than halfway. Okay, more than halfway there. And then just trace an arc. Okay. So there is the arc I started with from A. Okay. Now, without changing the opening of the compass, I'm just going to flip it over and go to B. And then I'm going to trace. And what we should find is that there are 2 intersection points. Boom, boom. Let's call those C and D. Alright, so now we are going to connect the new points. C and D goes through. This should be a right angle. Let's take a look at that with our protractor. If I put that right in the middle, I haven't extended it, but that looks pretty like it's going to be pretty right at 90, pretty close. Alright, and then let's measure each half here. So to me that looks like 2.5 centimeters or 25 millimeters, and that looks like 2.5. Okay, so markings. Bada bing, bada bing. That means those are the same. And then to mark the 90, put that in there. Alright, so that is a perpendicular bisector construction. Alright, you guys are going to come up with the steps for doing that. So however many steps you want, you define it, and I'll give you a few minutes, and then I'll run mine out after break. Alright, so here's what I came up with, and just compare and contrast. If always don't let me get in the way of you making a play. So if you can do it with your notation, great. I'm excited about that. So I started with draw a segment, like ours is AB. Open compass over half the segment, so we're here, right? Mark each side. So we're gonna go, right here on A, and then flip it over on B. And then I don't know why I always freak out over this. Don't change the opening, right? We're not gonna like open this one up, this far here, and then when we move it over here, like I'm gonna open it way up over here. That's gonna mess it up. So that's my little teaching freak out. Mark the overlap points. Ours here are C and D. Okay, and then just construct that perpendicular bisector. We're just gonna draw it, and I added that perpendicular notation in there again, just a reminder, because I kind of bricked that one last time. And then check our work. Not to be too nerdy or domineering, but the beauty of math for me, or part of the beauty of math, is we know if we've done it right, or we have a pretty good idea if we've done it right, because this angle is 90 and those are the same. Well, all right, then it's pretty good. There's other disciplines. I have an econ degree as well, and worked with some social studies where, you know, we never really truly know a lot of those things. And so math is reassuring in the sense that we have a pretty concrete, if not totally concrete, idea that we are correct or headed in the right direction at least. All right, so I'll get off my soapbox. That is it for perpendicular bisector construction. We're going to do one more construction of that sort, which has to do with constructing a perpendicular bisector to a line at a point on the line. Let me say one more thing about this. You'll be asked to do this construction on a test. I need to see these marks from your compass in order to get full credit. Alright? You can't just like throw some little crossy lines on there that aren't from a compass and expect to get full credit. It needs to look exactly like this, and that's why I left it a little sloppy. Alright, on with the show. Alright, so we're going to construct perpendicular to a line at a point on the line. Perpendicular to a line at a point on the line. Alright, so get a line. Change it up. We'll slope it from left to right. You know, positive slope from left to right. Crazy, I know. Alright, so let's get a line going here. Let's just throw some point in. Let's put it in here. Let's put it a little bit more in the middle. So let's call that point A. Okay, so now let's open this up. Just really any distance that's manageable. I like to be a little big, but I'm kind of limited by this note card, so I don't want to be too big. In other words, don't make it like super tiny, but don't make it super large. Nice, happy medium. Alright, so I'm going to arc a semicircle. I lost a little bit at the end there. Okay, semicircle. Boom, right there. Alright, and then I'm going to label these points B and C. I'm just gently, so I know. Okay, and then I'm going to open my compass more than half of BC. So I'm going to come here at C, and I'll open this a little bit more than half. A would be half. This is the semicircle. So then I'm just going to come and mark up here, and then I'm going to mark up there. Okay. And it should be off our semicircle a little bit. So that is call that D. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so this should be half, this should be 90. See how we did? Looks pretty good for 90. Let's see how we're doing with half.